Chatham was very busy Columbus Day weekend. Pumpkin People in the Park was sensational with some amazingly creative displays. And Oktoberfest was very crowded as well. A big thank you goes out to the Merchants Association and to all involved in making the weekend a great success. Halloween is behind us, and you can actually find a place to park right on Main Street. But this is Chatham, and there is always something going on. I'm Huntley Harrison, together with Richard Garvin and Jerry Panuzak, to bring you the November installment of Chatham Today, the show that keeps you up to date with what's happening in the town of Chatham. This month, we have a special segment at the end of our regular program. We'll be on location at the Monomoy Wildlife Refuge headquarters, interviewing the new manager, Matt Hillman. Appointed in midsummer, Hillman is excited about the wildlife on the 7,600-acre refuge and sharing that excitement with the public. This should be an interesting segment. We hope you will stay tuned. Now we'll take a look at what's happening in Chatham for November. First, we want to remind you of the Veterans Day Parade, honoring all who have served on Wednesday, November 11th from 11 a.m. to noon. The ceremony will take place at Veterans Circle, also known as the Rotary. Participants will line up at Veterans Field parking lot at 10:30 a.m., located next to the Chatham Community Center, and depart from there at 10:55. They will proceed down Main Street to Veterans Circle. The participants will include members of the Chatham VFW and American Legion, the Ladies Auxiliary to the Chatham VFW, the Chatham Coast Guard, the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and boys and girls from our Scout organizations. In the event of inclement weather, the ceremony will be held at the Chatham Community Center. Now, here's Rich with the update from the Council on Aging.
Don't forget the Community Needs Assessment. Please complete the survey when it arrives in the mail. Community surveys will be mailed to all Chatham residents aged 50 and over. Look for the return address of UMass Boston. They need your help and input to make this project a success. Please take advantage of this opportunity to contribute to the needs assessment and let your voice be heard. These surveys are completely confidential. Who better to help understand the needs of Chatham seniors than the seniors and caregivers themselves? This is important. Please participate.
Absolutely. Very important.
Yes.
Yep.
COA Day Trip on Wednesday, November 4th. Come explore with the COA as they travel to Hyannis and enjoy both the JFK Museum and the Cape Cod Baseball League Hall of Fame. Lunch to follow at Panera Bread in Hyannis. Cost of $5 includes admission to both museums. Lunch prices range from $5 to $12. Transportation is free. Admission and lunch at the participants' cost. Call the COA to reserve early as space is limited. On Monday, November 9th at noon, the Chatham COA will be honoring our veterans and military spouses. This Veterans Day with a free lunch for veterans and or military spouses who are Chatham residents age 60 or older. You must register for this event by calling or stopping by the front desk by Friday, November 6th. Not a veteran or military spouse? No problem. Lunch will be offered for $7, but reservations are required. And join them after lunch for a free screening of the movie Flags of Our Fathers at 1:15. Space is limited. Call or stop in to sign up by November 6th. This event is generously sponsored by the Friends of the Chatham COA.
That's really nice.
It is.
Doing that. Yep.
It is. Home safety training for caregivers of people with Alzheimer's and dementia on Tuesday, November 10th, from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. There will be a free hour-and-a-half course offered through the Alzheimer's Family Support Center of Cape Cod. This course will provide the basics of home safety for caregivers of people with Alzheimer's or dementia-related illness. The course will include a brief overview of the stages of cognitive disease and specific instructions for how to avoid injury and harm at all stages of the disease progression. Information will be tailored to meet the specific caregiving needs of each class participant, with much attention given to answering questions, problem solving, and strategizing. The course will be taught by Fran Lavin, RN and dementia specialist, who has been working in the dementia care field on Cape Cod for more than 30 years. Ms. Lavin created the first long-term and assisted living dementia-specific units on Cape Cod and continues to work one-on-one with families navigating the complex world of dementia-related illness. Please call the COA for more information and registration. Prepare, Prevent, and Protect. On Monday, November 16th at 1:15 p.m., there will be a very important public safety program, When and Why to Call 911, will be presented by Justin Tavano, Chatham firefighter and EMT and public education coordinator, Sergeant William Massey from the Chatham Police Department, Community Resource Officer. They will offer tips on how to prepare, prevent, and protect yourself from a variety of potential emergencies. A very strong and effective component of public safety partners is the continued success of the Reassurance Program, which is a unique program managed by the Police Department in conjunction with the Chatham COA that connects seniors of our community with the Police Department with a daily check-in or courtesy call. Another partner in this program is the Chatham Fire Department. Through their management and use of lock boxes, this interagency cooperation is a shining example of the services available to the members of our community at no charge. Have you ever found yourself wondering when and why you should call 911? Sometimes folks just don't know who to call for help or if their situation classifies as an emergency. Many of our older residents often feel as though their situation is not dire enough to call for assistance. Because of this, oftentimes, minor emergencies progress to significant emergencies rapidly. The Chatham Fire and Rescue Department provides reassurance to assist in seeking appropriate recourse and ultimately to allow you to live in a community where you feel safe and understand that your well-being is a priority. Please plan to attend this discussion about when and why to call 911. You will receive safety tips on how to prepare, prevent, and protect yourself. Why not join them for lunch at the COA Cafe beforehand for just $7? Call the COA for more information and to sign up. You know, that's a real good deal.
It is a good deal.
Because I've often thought about, is this a real problem or is it just me imagining something?
Right. And, I think some of the other things that happen is that so I think some people are embarrassed to call.
I think you're right.
And not only do they not know that it's serious,
yeah,
but they also maybe feel a little embarrassed about calling, and
exactly.
then it's too late.
Exactly. People want to be independent. Say, I can take care of it. I've taken care of myself for a long time, and I can still do this. But you know what, folks?
Yep.
Sometimes you got to call.
You got to call.
And there's the resource for you. The police and the fire department are ready to help you out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is a new date for the Orthopedic Support Group, Tuesday, November 17th at 10:30 a.m., which is the third Tuesday of the month. Formerly the Spine and Arthritic Joint Support Group, this group will also be facilitated by Dr. Bernard Pfeiffer, a retired orthopedic surgeon. The purpose of the support group is to bring together folks who have orthopedic issues, arthritic, joint, back problems, etc. They wish to discuss these issues, and this group will meet monthly in order to facilitate that at the Chatham Senior Center. Light refreshments will be served. The group will meet on the third Tuesday monthly at 10:30 a.m. Call for more information or to register. And Senior Day at Whole Foods Hyannis on Wednesday, November 18th, their monthly visit. Seniors are invited to visit the store for a variety of different events, samplings, and educational classes. The Chatham COA will provide transportation to and from Senior Day on November 18th. The event begins at 10 a.m., and the van will leave around 9 a.m. Space is limited. Call the COA for more information and to register. Also on Wednesday, November 18th, is the November birthday celebration at 2 p.m. If you were born in the month of November and reside in Chatham, Join them at the COA for their monthly birthday celebration. Guests are encouraged and transportation is available. Again, you have to call to register.
Now, Huntley, you're having a November birthday, aren't you?
I am.
Okay.
I would be eligible.
You would be eligible.
I would be. That's right.
So happy birthday if I forget.
Okay, thanks. I just want a present. Here's a not-to-be-missed event. On Thursday, November 19th at noon, the Thanksgiving luncheon for Chatham seniors will be held at the Wild Goose Tavern. This is sponsored by the Rotary Club of Chatham. It is first come, first served, and space is limited. Reservations are obviously required. Transportation can be provided. Call the COA or stop by the front desk to sign up. Also, computer classes are in full swing. The November schedule begins on Wednesday, November 4th, with the iPad for beginners. That's a $15 class, and this will be repeated again on the 18th of November. On Monday, November 9th, and again on the 16th, new tips and tricks for iOS 9, also $15. And iOS 9 is a new operating system for the iPad.
Oh, okay.
And also the iPhone.
Glad you cleared that up.
Yep.
I didn't know what the heck.
Yeah, some people, yeah, that's why I thought I'd do that. November is movie month at the COA. Free movie Mondays at the COA Cinema. Monday, November 2nd, Whiplash. A promising young drummer enrolls at a cutthroat music conservatory where his dreams of greatness are mentored by an instructor who will stop at nothing to realize a student's potential. Stars Miles Teller, J.K. Simmons, and Melissa Benoist. On November 9th, Flags of Our Fathers. Clint Eastwood directed this World War II-era epic about the 6 men who raised the American flag following the critical Battle of Iwo Jima. After an iconic photograph of the flag raising taken by Joe Rosenthal turns into a national symbol, the surviving soldiers are sent back to the U.S. for a publicity tour, quickly becoming disenfranchised at the thought of being glorified as national heroes. This stars Ryan Philippe, Barry Pepper, and Joseph Cross. On November 23rd, The Judge. Big city lawyer Hank Palmer returns to his childhood home where his father, the town's judge, is suspected of murder. Hank sets out to discover the truth. Along the way, reconnects with his estranged family. This stars Robert Downey Jr., Robert Duvall, and Vera Farmiga. And finally, on November 30th, Beyond the Sea. This is a biographical film based on the life of singer-actor Bobby Darin. As a boy, Bobby Darin, played by Kevin Spacey, nearly died from rheumatic fever. While it left him with a weakened heart, it didn't weaken his desire to become the most popular singer in the country. Knowing that he's living on borrowed time, Bobby works nonstop to conquer the pop and jazz worlds with his hits like Splish Splash and Mac the Knife. But as the 60s come into full swing, Bobby sees his style of singing fall out of favor, and his marriage to actress Sandra Dee, played by Kate Bosworth, suffers. Stars Kevin Spacey, Kate Bosworth, John Goodman, and Bob Hoskins. Also, don't forget to make your reservation for the Gourmet Cafe lunches on Mondays for $7, and the soup to go, which is for $4, while supplies last during the week. And finally, the COA is offering a terrific opportunity to visit the Woods Hole Science Aquarium. Mark your calendars for this December 2nd event. This is a small public aquarium that is free to the public. Although many aquariums in the United States lay claim to being the oldest, Woods Hole has the best claim, dating back to 1875. Their exhibits include approximately 140 species of marine animals found in the Northeast and Middle Atlantic waters. After visiting the aquarium, you will be enjoying lunch at Friendly's in Falmouth. Everyone will receive separate checks. The bus will depart at 10. Cost is free for the transportation and admission to aquarium. Lunch is up to you. Call for reservations. Space is limited.
And now for the November events at the Eldridge Public Library. Mondays at 10:30 a.m., Chatham Writers. Members meet to explore different writing genres. Share your work with the group. If you would like to join, call Diane DeGennaro at 774-237-0899. Fridays from 10:30 to 12:30, the Chatham Memoirs Group. Everyone can write about their own experiences, but do you need tips to make them interesting reading? If you want to join this group, call Mal Ward at 508-945-4284. Author event, Sunday, November 1st at 2 p.m. with Michael Tagayas, Finest Hours. Co-author Michael Tagayas will give his take on the process of writing the book and its transformation to the screen. Wednesday, November 4th, library ebooks at 10:30 a.m., the iPad, and at 11:30, the Kindle Reader. Reference librarian Amy Andreasen will present instructions for downloading library ebooks to your device and tips for searching the CLAMS digital library site. Registration is required. You can register online or call the library at 508-945-5170. The Book to Film discussion group will meet Saturday, November 14th at 2 p.m. This month's selection is Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. On Tuesday, November 17th at 4 p.m., the Friends of Eldridge Public Library Book Discussion Group will meet. This month's selection is Redeployment by Phil Clay. For information, call Linda Nixon at 508-945-2094. And finally, on Thursday, November 19th at 7 p.m., author event with Nancy Jane Woodside. In honor of National Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week, which is November 14th through the 22nd, compiler and editor Nancy Jane Woodside will speak about her book, Sea Glass: Women Speak from America's Newest Plantations. The writings in this book came out of a writing group at Eve's House, a shelter for homeless women, which is part of a nonprofit Cape Cod-based Homeless, Not Hopeless. And now for some items of general interest. On Friday and Saturday, November 27th and 28th, the Marconi RCA Wireless Museum will be open. Please visit them while you recover from your Thanksgiving dinner. Exhibits in the operations building are open from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. each day. The public is welcome to walk the grounds and the antenna field trail at any time. Explore their website or call 508-945-8889 for information. Also, on that weekend, the Creative Arts Center will be having its holiday show and sale from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. Fine arts and crafts for sale for the holiday season. There will be paintings, prints, photographs, jewelry, sculpture, gifts, fabric items, and craft items. So drop in and get an early start on the Christmas gift shopping. The Creative Arts Center will also be running a holiday and small work show from November 27th through December 16th, predominantly featuring small works of art. This sale is a combination of art, craft, jewelry, pottery, leatherwork, woven and knitted items, prints, cards, t-shirts, and much more. There will be something for everyone.
Boy, absolutely.
Yeah. And don't forget the 11th annual Turkey Trot. On Thursday, November 26th, you can meet behind the Orpheum Theater for a fun run or walk of over 3.1 miles of winding paved roads and enjoy breathtaking scenery. This event is coordinated by the Unitarian Universalist Meeting House in Chatham and the Chatham Walkers, and benefits the Lower Cape Outreach Council. You can register from 7 to 8 a.m. behind the Orpheum Theater. Adults are $15, and don't forget a bag of non-perishable groceries. Youngsters, 5 to 16, $5, and under 5, free with one grocery item. Free t-shirts while they last, raffle, as well as homemade pie sale. Park at Oyster Pond, Community Center, or the Orpheum Theater lot. For more information, call 508 432-7194 or 508-945-1798. Download the application at chathamturkeytrot.com.
And last but not least, Christmas by the Sea, a Chatham Merchants Association sponsored event. Christmas time in Chatham. Our quaint seaside village positively sparkles during the holidays. The Yuletide season kicks off in Chatham on Friday, November 27th. Check the Chatham Chamber of Commerce website for a full schedule of events and activities. But make sure to mark your calendars for the Christmas stroll on December 11th. We will have further details for you in our December show. But wait, there's a little bit more. At the top of the show, we told you about our interview with Matt Hillman, the manager of the Monomoy Wildlife Refuge. So without further ado, here's Rich with that interview.
I'm Rich Garvin with Chatham Today, and I'm here at the Monomoy National Wildlife Refuge with Refuge Manager Matt Hillman. Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Very well, thanks. Welcome to Monomoy.
Well, thank you. It's a beautiful place out here on a beautiful day. And to get started, I'd like to ask you about your background. I mean, where were you born? What training did you have? College? That sort of thing.
Sure thing. I'm actually born and raised in Massachusetts. I'm from Southborough, Massachusetts. Born in Framingham, moved to Southborough when I was young. I attended University of Massachusetts in Amherst when I was in college there. I had a lot of projects working with wildlife. I went to Costa Rica, for example. I tagged leatherback sea turtles in Costa Rica, and I watched them as they migrate through satellite tags up to Block Island, actually. And that's kind of what got me really interested in the refuge system and also in wildlife habitat in general and wildlife research, was that experience in Costa Rica.
Excellent. Now, how long have you been working for the system?
So after undergrad, I was in graduate school. I finished up in 2012. I went to Virginia Tech for graduate school, and I researched shorebird ecology and management at Cape Lookout National Seashore. After that, I graduated with a master's in science. I then went to California, where I was working at Hopper Mountain National Wildlife Refuge Complex, and that was based out of Ventura. And that was part of the California Condor Recovery Program.
Wow.
So I have quite a lot of experience with threatened and endangered species management, which is a good fit here for Monomoy National Wildlife Refuge.
Okay, you say endangered and threatened species. Are there any endangered species here on Monomoy?
Sure, we have the roseate tern, which is an endangered nesting bird that utilizes our nesting habitat on South Monomoy Island. Okay. And that's one of the largest endangered species we have. We also have piping plovers, which is a federally threatened species as well.
Know them very well.
Many people know piping plovers very well, for sure.
And what are you doing to increase the habitat and nesting viability of these birds?
Good question. It's very timely, too. One of the things that we'll be doing this fall, either this month or next month, is a prescribed burn of Monomoy Island in the tern colony. And the reason why we're doing that in the tern colony is because every year we have a buildup of beach grass and thatch.
Oh, yeah.
So the nesting birds, they require open, bare sand to nest in and also to forage in. And we're going to go through a prescribed burn process. You're working with the National Park Service and other agencies to go into this area and actually burn all of that thatch and beach grass off of the area, have a nice open sand nesting habitat for the threatened and endangered species that use it. And I'll also mention, in addition to those special status species, the T&E species, or threatened and endangered, we have the second largest common tern colony on the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, I see plenty of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, and there's more than 10,000 in that colony.
Wow.
So being in those colonies during the thick of it is quite interesting, quite loud too.
They can be kind of aggressive, can't they?
Can be. And if you've seen photos on our website, you'll notice that a lot of our staff wear helmets, and they also wear flags that come up off of their helmets, and that's one way to mitigate the aggressive action and behaviors of those terns.
Okay. You don't think of a bird like that as being kind of really nasty and going after people. They usually flee. But in this case, I guess they're protecting their nests and their chicks.
Yeah, and there's so many of them. It's I guess we would call it the mob mentality. The birds, when they attack as a part of a cohesive unit, they're much more effective than attacking alone. So, and they're protecting their young just as any good parent would.
Any good parent. Now, how long will this controlled burn last as far as a good habitat for the birds?
That's a good question. Our last burn, I believe it was 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so now we're at that time where we have to burn again. So every 4 to 5 years is pretty normal. Although I will mention if there's a large storm, a hurricane, a nor'easter, that could actually wipe out the beach grass as well, and that could create very positive nesting habitat. The problem in the past, in the last several years anyway, we haven't had storms like that have really gone through that habitat and taken the beach grass out, and that's why we're needing these prescribed burns now to do that.
Wow, with all the storms we had last year and the year before, you would think that all that would be gone.
And part of the issue now is we have, as everyone knows, the coastal system is very dynamic. And so we're having a lot more sand, it's called longshore drift, coming up from the north of Cape Cod and being deposited here on Monomoy. When that happens, it's actually working to protect the tern colony to actually make it less dynamic of a system and have more beach grass grow up. So if it was more exposed to the elements, if there wasn't that extra layer of sand there, then maybe on a yearly basis we'd have overwash like we once had. But now it requires burning to keep it open until another storm comes through and changes the whole game.
Well, that reminds me, we have this beautiful photograph behind us, and I guess this is what you're talking about right here with this teardrop shape as this sand drifts down the coast and then it gets deposited here?
Right. The sand is drifting from north to south, but I'm specifically talking about this tern colony right here. And this is where we're having our terns nest. So you might remember, this right here used to be an inlet. This was called the Southway. Of course, now this part of South Beach, Chatham, is connected to Monomoy. And this wasn't always the case. So when this was exposed and open, more storms were able to impact this tern colony, which is, they can't do that now because it's protected by that sand.
Oh, I see. Now, besides humans who go to the island to enjoy recreational situations, what are the problems that the birds have as far as predators are concerned? I mean, there's coyotes and hawks.
That's right, yeah. They face a lot of problems, and those are the two main ones that you just mentioned. In fact, there's quite a few coyotes that do inhabit these islands, and especially when these islands are connected to the mainland, we have more and more coyotes that come down and predate our nesting birds. And so that is the main one, is coyotes. There's other species as well. Birds of prey, hawks that will also predate. And there's even in gulls. We have a problem with gulls here as well. Gulls will certainly go into the colonies, and they will take chicks and eggs as well.
Oh, man. So it's a tough road for these birds.
It is. It takes a lot for them to make it in the world. And the chances are not very high, but at least on Monomoy, we're providing them with an important refuge that's free of human disturbance and also free of a lot of the extra predation pressures that you might see on the mainland. And a lot of that is because of human waste facilities, for example, dumpsters, things that attract commensal species. And by commensal, I mean species that do well around human habitation.
Like
coyotes is one of them, raccoons is one of them, herring gulls for sure. So Monomoy being a wilderness area where there's no roads, there's no permanent structures, is a really important place for these birds to nest.
Now that you're here at Monomoy, what do you feel is your biggest challenge here, besides preserving this and nesting birds and all that?
I guess one large challenge that we have is allowing people to appreciate this refuge. It's a difficult place to get to. Of course, it requires a boat to get out there. So if someone would like to recreate, to bird watch, to go fishing, for example, they would need their own private vessel. It's very difficult to get people out there and to appreciate this island. And that's one thing I would like to do, to have these wildlife-dependent forms of recreation, and that would include kayaking, that would include fishing, that would include hiking, that would include these sorts of things that we can really get the public interested in what we're doing and get them out to the island and actually see what we're doing without negatively impacting the resource. And that's a pretty big challenge. It's tough to find not only the islands of Monomoy, but Morris Island here, where we are today, is our visitor center. It's difficult even to get here, and many people just don't know that it exists. So I think once we have more public, more volunteers, we can have more of an appreciation for this place. And I think people would really enjoy seeing what we have to offer here.
Tell me about the volunteers. I mean, how can a person volunteer to help out here at the refuge?
Well, that's a great question. We have volunteers who staff our visitor center. We have volunteers that assist with our tern monitoring activities, for example, a whole host of biological activities, including horseshoe crab tagging and resighting. They can do maintenance for us. We've had a lot of volunteers who are really crucial in that regard. We have a staff of 3 permanent full-time people here at Monomoy. So we rely on volunteers for everything, whether it's repairing fence or counting birds. We could use the help here for sure.
Okay, Matt, how can schools get involved in helping? Because I know students, teenagers, even younger kids would love to do this sort of thing.
It's true, and especially nowadays, a lot of teenagers are pretty involved in their electronics, and they don't get out as much as they'd like to. So we would love to get students out here. In fact, we just hosted an event in September. We had a number of students from Sturgis School in Hyannis come here and help us out with trail maintenance, actually, and they had a great time doing that. We would love to partner with local schools here in Chatham and Harwich and on this part of the Cape to get more students out here, and we can have them doing everything from some of our biological inventory work to trail maintenance and other things like I mentioned. So definitely important and very much on our radar to get young people out here and appreciate this refuge.
That's great. And time-wise, you can volunteer for an hour or 5 days. It doesn't matter.
There's no commitment. Just show up here, let us know you're coming, and we can find something for you and make use out of you.
There's always something to do, huh?
There's always something to do. There's never a shortage.
Okay. Well, Matt, I want to thank you very much for your time and the information you gave us. And we here at Chatham Today and the community of Chatham wish you all the luck in making Monomoy a great place.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Take care.
That wraps it up for this time. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Chatham Today. Remember, the show runs on Channel 99 on Mondays at 9 a.m. and several other times during the week. If you missed the cablecast or want to see it again, you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or you can visit our website. Just do a Google search for site/Chatham Today. It should be the first entry you see. The web address is on the screen now. Chatham Today is a video chronicle of the events and activities in the town of Chatham. If you would like to have what's happening in your organization announced on the air, please email us. We look forward to hearing from you. You can also like us on Facebook under Chatham Today, and we hope. Thank you for watching. We'll see you down the road.